Hey y'all, we are having a great time with you, and now we're up to week 3, and this is Volley week. So far I've learned how to hit a forehand ground stroke, a backhand ground stroke, but then when we hit a good shot or someone brings us up, we come up to the net, we take the ball out of the air, and these are called volleys. And on volleys, we don't swing very much. We're just blocking the ball, okay? So we have a forehand volley that we're going to be learning tonight, a backhand volley that we can either do with 2 hands or 1 hand. And so each court tonight is going to be dedicated towards net play, and we're going to see you on court 1. We're going to be back on court 1. Okay, so on court 1, we're going to be having a cone catch competition. And why are we going to be catching the ball with a cone? Because to me, a volley is just like catching the ball. We don't want to take a big swing. We want to really see that ball and catch it on our string. So let me just show you what a forehand volley looks like. And notice how I don't swing. I'm just trying to catch the ball on my racket. See how my racket stopped moving there and I'm freezing? So a great drill, what we're going to do is actually take a cone. So I've got my cone, and I'm going to be holding it like this, okay? Don't hold it like this. Hold it from the bottom up. And we're going to take a step towards the ball, and we're going to try and catch it in the cone. See that? Go ahead. So I missed that one. Good. So that's what we're doing. We're catching the ball in the cone, and it's that simple. That's how simple the technique is on the volley. The only difference is when we start playing a match, people are going to try and hit passing shots, so it gets challenging. But the actual technique of a volley is pretty simple. You just want to think about catching the ball on the string. So we're going to catch it in our cone. We're going to have a competition on this court. The first team to get 20 cone catches is the winner. And I'll see you on court 2. Okay, so now on court 2, we're going to focus mostly on the forehand volley. This is forehand volley court, and first of all, we're going to start with the grip. So the grip is, you see how my racket is like that. So unlike the topspin grip where we hold it like this with the forehand, we bring our racket like that, and I just shake hands with it. And see how I kind of have like a little V here? I'm holding the racket. So we want the racket to be straight up and down, so when we hit our volley, the racket face is slightly open. You notice that? And rather than coming low, too high, and swinging up, I'm coming a little bit high and slightly down on it, and I want my strings to freeze on my target. I don't want to do what they call breaking the wrist. So the ready position, if I'm in ready position, I'm holding the racket right like this, right under my chin. And when the ball is coming, as far as holding the grip, it's very important how tight we're holding the grip. In the beginning, we're going to be holding the grip kind of on a scale 1 to 5, 5 being about as tight as you can hold the racket, 1 being as loose as you can hold it. You're going to be at about a 3. So you got a decent grip on it, but you don't have the death grip on it. Then when the ball comes, I go from a 3 down to a 1 because I want to loosen up my hand so I can turn the wrist and have the racket out in front. One thing to look out for is you don't want to do this. Lots of beginners, and even some people who are not beginners, they go way back and then they're hitting the volleys here. We want to just relax the wrist so the racket is out in front, and I'm also making this move with my leg down here, right? You can get that. I'm making the move with my leg and the wrist to find the ball, and then I just push out in front. Nice and simple. The less you do on your forehand volley, the better it's going to be. And when I get here and I find the ball, now I'm going to get to a 5. I'm going to kind of have a little bit of a death grip on it, holding really tight. I want to feel like I'm making a wall with my strings. So Bay's going to feed me a couple, and right before she feeds, I'm going to do something called a split step. Okay, so watch the split step and the volley. So I'm going to split step and volley. Split step and volley. Split step and volley. Split and volley. And you see, those balls were coming off my racket nice and firm. I was hitting really good volleys there. I was happy with those volleys, and I was not swinging. You don't have to swing to get the power. It's kind of that timing with a little bit of a squeeze on the racket as you're blocking it, and the step. That's where you're going to get the power from. And so that was court 2. That was our forehand volley. We'll see you on court 3. So now we're up to court 3, and this is the backhand volley. I'm going to give you a couple of choices here. Most professionals, almost, I would say 99% of professionals hit a one-handed backhand volley, but it's okay if you feel more comfortable in the beginning hitting a two-hand backhand volley. One of the best players of all time, a couple of the best players of all time I can think of, Jimmy Connors and Chris Evert, they both had two-handed backhand volleys. So I'm going to start there. That's a little easier to teach, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do on the one-hand backhand volley. So again, the grip, you see that we have the racket. We have that racket in that same position. Here's a little tip. The forehand and the backhand volley, it's pretty much the same grip. We're not changing the grip. So we're grabbing it here, straight up and down, and then I have my other hand down here. And it's really important on our first move, when I see the ball coming, again, I'm not going to take a big backswing. I'm not going to take a big backswing. I'm going to be turning the wrist. So again, we want to be in about a 3 as far as how tight we're holding the racket, so we're relaxed, but we have a good grip on it. Then I go to a 1. I really loosen up my hands. Can you see my hands loosen up? And then I'm going to get tight again and push forward and block. So that's what I'm going to show you right now with a double backhand demonstration. Yeah, so here we go. And I'm going to block it nice and firm. Notice I'm finishing my strings on my target. The racket head is not moving very much. That's the two-handed backhand volley. Now we're going to go to the one-hand backhand volley. This takes a little bit more technique. It's a little tougher in the beginning. Some people have strength issues, but once you get it down, you're really going to like it because you're going to have a lot more reach around the court when you have the one-hand backhand volley. What I like to do is really focus on the top hand. Don't forget about this top hand. I like to almost make that first move like I'm going to hit an opposite-handed volley. In fact, I'm going to practice some of those right now. So watch, she's going to beat me the ball, and I'm making that move with that opposite hand. So that's going to kind of find the ball. That's going to be your finder. So I see the ball, and I find the ball. I find the ball. You see I'm making this move, making this move. So then I'm set up. Now as the ball comes, then I'm going to release, and they're going to go in opposite directions, and I want my string to finish on my target. In the beginning, with lots of one-hand volleys, they bend the wrist over like this. They do a lot of this. Watch this. They kind of flick the wrist at it. You don't want to be doing that. You want to keep the wrist locked up. You see how my wrist is locked up in this position? So the wrist is locked up, and then I want the elbow to extend all the way out. That's what my coach used to tell me. Wrist locked up, elbow extends all the way out, and notice how I'm also pushing away here, and it's like I've got a tray, like I'm a waiter, okay? And so watch the technique here. I'm here and coming out. Here and out. Here and out. Here and out. Strings right on the target. Wrist was up. One more. Watch how I finish with, again, the wrist locked up. The waiter, it all coming together. That's the backhand volley. That's a lot prettier than the two-handed, don't you think? Okay, we'll see you on the next court. Okay. Okay, so I hope you've been listening to the technique on the forehand and the backhand, because now on this court, we're up to court 4, I believe, and we're going to be doing forehand and backhand volley. And one of the most important things to be able to do this well is to get your ready position. Notice how the racket's in neutral position. You don't want to be in ready position like this. Lots of times the beginners kind of run up to the net like this. You've got to make sure that you're right here so you're ready to go either way. Try not to have your racket like this in ready position like this, because then the backhand volley is going to be tough to get to. So that's why you want it straight up and down, right under your chin. So then when the ball comes, I can relax my wrist and get out to the forehand volley. I can relax my wrist and get out to the backhand volley. So what Betty's going to do right now, she's going to feed me a forehand backhand volley. Notice the split steps in between. Again, that's going to help me to recover to go either way. Ron's showing me, show him the split step. There's a split step. So it's just a little hop to get me bounced. She's going to feed forehand volley and then a backhand volley. So I get here and I go forehand volley and then backhand volley. And then forehand volley and backhand volley. So you can see I'm getting a lot of pop on those balls without much swing, going side to side. So you get a forehand and then a backhand. Then we might mix it up on you where you don't know what you're going to get. Could be a forehand or a backhand. So be ready. Okay, we'll see you on the next court. Okay, so this is a fun court because now we get to smash the ball. We get to take all our frustrations out on the ball. Let's say you don't like a boss that you have. This is your time. This is your court, okay? We're going to do the overhead. This is the kill shot. This is where we played usually a great point. We force the opponent into a defensive shot where they hit the ball high in the air, and then we basically do like a serve, but it's out of the air. It's an abbreviated serve motion. So the toughest thing for people in the beginning is just to figure out how to get ready. So the first move is crucial. I'm in ready position like this, and then what I want to do is swing this leg back and then start to get the racket right here. And notice one thing a lot of beginners also do is they'll move back like this with their hand way up high. They're not going to get any power here. So what you want to learn how to do is turn to the side right away and get the racket and the elbow low. One thing I like to do, which is kind of good, it gets you in the right grip, is kind of hold the racket almost on my head. You see how I'm doing that? That forces my elbow low. Now as we start playing a match, it will be more like this. But for right now, watch. If I just relax my racket on my head, watch the good overheads I'm going to get. So you might want to practice this at home to kind of feel getting here and then extending up. I want to feel like I'm getting taller as I'm hitting, not smaller. Don't let that ball drop and hit here. You need to go up and get it, okay? So Bay's going to feed me a couple high ones. I'm going to hit it over there. So I'm right on my head, and then I'm snapping, and snapping, and snapping. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so you see how I'm crushing those overheads, and notice I'm starting right, relax here. Notice the difference if I start up high. Go ahead. If I start up high, I'm not able to get much power on the ball. That's what a lot of beginners look like. You want to get down here, down low, and really use your core to come through. A couple more. And snap. Okay, so have a good time with that. A lot of wrist snap on that ball, okay? We'll see you next week. You guys did a great job.